It's here. It's finally happened. Smash Duo has come to its conclusion. And we've got it together. So this, thing which I cooked up, which is pretty crazy, has run its course. We took the idea of Smash, two 15-point rough, two half decks, combine them together. That's your full deck. What are we going to do with all those characters that don't work in that format? Boom, Smash Duos, make hybrid characters. This really lets us get a whole bunch of characters into Smash that couldn't before, like the giant Anakin we've got here. And between the ones that I made for Gen Con 2024 and then the ones that I designed here in 2025, we have 24 Smash Duo decks that are fully compatible with the FFG era Smash decks. If you count that with all the other Smash decks, because we have, it's like 60 decks, I think, for Smash standard, like in the first three phases. And then we have the two little mini expansion, Cad and Ahsoka. And then you have the 24 Smash Duos. That gives you 76 FFG-ish. Obviously, the last 26, there's some variance. But 76 FFG-based Smash decks. If you add on to that the small expansion for ARH that we did, it's something that maybe could be revisited in the future if ARH wants to get into some more Smash nonsense. But for the ability to board gamify your Star Wars Destiny collection, we've pretty much got you covered. There are very few spaces that we didn't delve into at some point or somehow through this series. I'm hoping that this feels like quite a cumulative list for everyone. And we're dropping it here, and this is going to be available. So in the link and descriptions and whatnot, there's a PDF file that will have all of these hybrid character arts, as well as the selectors. And then this TTS asset, Andrew put together a nice little box. Check it out. Flip it. Oh, flip. Look at that. So some of the ones from last year, the Kreese sisters, Sky Guy and Snips from this year, right here on the box. So let's crack it open and get into it. As we've been going along, I had been sharing my first pass on the decks. So I will tell you now that there are very little, if any, changes to the decks. So when you pull out the box, first bag you pull out of there is the selectors. So I designed a selector for all 24. It's going to list, you're going to see a opaque version of the deck character, in this case hybrid character, but you'll see the battlefield and then the full listing of the deck that you can go through and you can shuffle these up. You can do a draft. You could also, if you're in TTS, you could grab the other Smash box. You could jam the selectors together. You can combine them. I think these are pretty much on par strength-wise with the rest of the FFG Smash decks. I mean, obviously some of them are more inherently compatible, like pair well with a lot of other decks. Some of them are more combo-y. Some of them have more splash plays. But in general, the power level, I think, is pretty much the same. And the art is going to be the same for the PDFs. If you do go and print these and have them IRL, it's something I need to figure out. I built all of these IRL. I'm looking forward to printing all these selectors. And I didn't make selectors for the ones from Gen Con last year because that was kind of like a lark. But since, I've got the other 12, which does bring us to something. This deck, which was kind of goofing around, this is me and Tank that we did for Gen Con. But this was kind of like a fun add-on. But then if I get rid of it, then we have 23. And then It's nice, like when you go to printing on a PDF, like there's 8 per page. It fits nice. So it's like, okay, this silly, janky, entirely made up thing that is based on FFG dice and such. But this is going to be in here. So I've immortalized myself and Tank in the game. And I hope you enjoyed it. It's a ridiculous character. Speaking of Tank, so Tank had done the art for the first 12, but he was unable to finish up the art for these last 12 or the selectors. So if you have any problems with the art, I don't want any attention going his direction. I will say that I think that my work is adequate. I am doing this. I do think that Tank's probably would have been a little bit better. There are little quirks, but I'm hoping that nobody's really looking at them close enough to see the quirks. But it is possible. So if you're getting into TTS, I'll pull one out here. So this is the Partisans. I did decide, so I changed the names on some of them from the videos originally. So for the 12 I built for this year, I tried to give them all like a duo name. So the way you can construct them in TTS, it should spawn one die, but not the other one. I don't really have a way in programming to do that. It's possible that somebody else might be able to do that. So in each one, you're going to see the original characters there. So just in case there's an issue, you can drop them and spawn the second die. So there you go. We got Jin, Saul, and you're ready to rock. With the rest of the deck, you got the 2 battlefields that you'll choose from when you have two half decks, and then your 15 card decks, and you're all ready to go. So that's how they're going to be constructed in here. So each deck is going to have the hybrid character, which is TTS compatible. It's going to spawn shield health. It's going to spawn usually the left character. It's going to spawn their die, but the other one is in there for you. You can grab it, spawn it, rock and roll. So from the previews, I changed the names. I think I just had Jin Saw on the video when I was just kind of talking about this first pass on the deck. I ended up going with the Partisans. And we can go through the selectors here and get into all of them. So I didn't rename any of the ones from the first set. So that first 12 are all set. So this one's Spectre Jedi. What else we got? So Sky God and Snips. I think I did have it named that way. Imp and Ain't Easy. Got a nice little bit of pun work. I did enjoy this one name-wise. Night Sisters. Rescue Han. Survive Order 66. The Inquisition. Because nobody expects the Inquisition. The Hutt Clan. I went back and forth on the name on that one. Partisans. The First Order. Death Squadron. Outer Rim Smugglers for Han and Chewie. And I think I have one more of the new ones in here. No, that's it. It's all 12. All right, so that's how they went through. All the other ones are pretty much just the names back and forth. You will see underneath of them, I do have the names in the subtitle. So it says Kanan Ezra. So Lando, Leia / Boosh. Talzin Luce. So like it does list out that character. In this format, there are cards, like if they reference, so normally if a card references a character, it would be the one that's actually there. In this case, we're going to treat it as if, so this is not one that was relevant to that. So like Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, if it has an on play, like if this is on Anakin, etc., like this is going to count as Anakin for purposes of the game. So there's a couple of those. Jyn Erso's blaster, if it's on Jyn Erso, etc., etc. The IG-2000 referencing IG-88, Fifth Brother Saber, Inquisitor Saber. I don't remember if you had to be on them for it. But yeah, any of those things, if they you just reference the card as if it was named Obi-Wan or as if it was named, whatever character, even though I gave them a combined name. So, there is one other change, and you can see it here on Rescue Han. I did take away Bounty Hunter. I will say that One of the main reasons is actually just like the art, fitting Scoundrel and Bounty Hunter and squeezing it between the two die art was a problem for me in the programming and stuff that I have. We did keep Bounty Hunter mask in there, so Boushh can still gain Bounty Hunter, and I feel like that's in the lore. Like, Leia is not inherently a Bounty Hunter, but when she puts on the Bounty Hunter mask, she becomes a Bounty Hunter. So, like, I think that works instead. So, Boushh not having Bounty Hunter, which has annoyed me at the time of release, because she's in the art for the card, at least she has the helmet. She looks like a Bounty Hunter. I feel like she should have had the subtype. In this case, she can at least gain it with Bounty Hunter mask. But there's not really a whole lot of requirement. Like, I don't think there's actually any cards in here that require Bounty Hunter. It's more synergy depending on who your partner is. But that was something when I did the video talking about my first pass, I had the character as Scoundrel Bounty Hunter, and I took away Bounty Hunter, so you have to gain it through the upgrade. I don't think I really changed much of anything else from the videos. The lists that are on the art is the final. So if there are any other changes, they were minor. I'm not sure. I think it was one I mentioned in one of the videos where I had to swap an event that didn't belong. And back in the day, yeah, actually, this is from the previous set. So Chirrut, where are they at? Here it is. Base Chirrut, when I released it, I had an event where you had to spot Trooper, but I gave them Partisan Guard, so it was no good, so I swapped it with Sudden Impact. So again, if you were to go back to the videos from last year where I talked about Base Chirrut, that swap is reflected here. You have Sudden Impact instead of whatever stupid card it is I had in there where you needed to spot Trooper, and in this deck you cannot, because I gave him Partisan Guard. So that's also been addressed. There's not a lot of characters gaining colors. There's a few, but you will see that like when they're hybrids, like Base Chirrut, like I often picked one. But with Base Chirrut, you have this character gains the color blue, but the majority of them do not. So like, I'm trying to think of an example. We have, these are all red. That's all blue. This is one. My character is red. We have some red cards in it. It's mostly yellow. You're not going to gain red. But they are spelled out on any cards where I feel like that is necessary, even if the die, shows you having access to another color. This is the Ezra that's yellow. I'm not having you gain yellow. It's not necessary. But there is a couple yellow events in this deck. So on and so forth. So Smash Duos, it is out. Check it out there. We've got the TTS asset. We have the PDS assets. You can print them. You can play it. 24 Smash decks for you to enjoy. We got so many big names that we're missing that are out there now in the format. It was, especially with all the Mandalorian stuff having come out, we were able to get a few more of those people. But yeah, Qui-Gon and Maul, Grievous, Palpatine, the whole Spectre crew, having Hero Droids. Hero Droids had a huge era in FFG where they ran the meta, and not having them smash felt like it was a problem. Thrawn and Tarkin, both legends, big Anakin. There's so much in here that I really wanted to get out there. Obi-Wan, hounded me. I tried so hard to make different modified versions. There is an ARH Obi-Wan, but then I think they errated him, so he's 16 points. So it also feels like even more of a cheat. So it's like, I really like this Obi-Wan version. I'm glad that he is in the format. And despite the fact that we're now up to 76 decks, like a lot of these decks feel new and unique, still in the format. The fact that we could have this much breadth and depth of card synergies and different types and, win con, maneuvers and such that we could still get there this late into it was pretty impressive. I'm pretty excited about the format. But with this, at least for now, and for likely a good stretch, I am closing the door on designing Smash decks. Um, if ARH ever closes the doors and they want to memorialize their time and get into more of making some Smash decks, I may come out of retirement to help them do that. Although I'm probably going to want them to be a part of it more. The FFG era I played from beginning to end. I'm familiar with all those decks. I was there through all the metas. I knew all the cards. I've played all of them. That was all jank that I did. The ARH era I've dipped in and out of. I do not know it as exhaustively. I designed the draft kit for it. I'm a fan of ARH, but I'm not as steeped in it. And I do think that someone with that perspective should be a part of the design for any kind of Smash thing. Just like little things like callbacks to certain eras, or like when this card was in like the meta of the time. It should have these kind of things, or should act in this way. And I don't know that I captured that as well in the 8 that I designed. 8 or 12, I forget how many I did for ARH. I'm more nervous about how true I'm being to the formats and that era. So a lot of what I had designed is stuck around towards the beginning of ARH when I was more present. But it is something that if it happens, it's going to be in the future, and it's not going to be something that's solely led by me, as these last couple of waves have been. I want to thank Andrew for putting a lot of this together, for creating this format, for creating, like I said, Smash was his brainchild. He entirely created this. I helped shepherd it towards the end here. So, big ups, thanks to Andrew for this format, which I love so much. I want to thank all the people that tested back in the day with this current set. I shared some ideas with Andrew. I shared some things with Tank, my friend George. Those are the main people I was kind of bouncing ideas off of for the duos line. Everybody who went to Gen Con last year and helped me with some of that initial testing, kind of proof of concept, having fun with it, telling me that it was something they enjoyed, that I should keep playing in this space. So thanks to all of them. Thanks to everybody in the ARH we've actually gotten this to play on their Tuesday night events. We've gotten some of them on the table and had some fun. I appreciate everybody there who jumped in on that, made me feel a little bit better about it, getting some more eyes on it more than just mine, and having them work and be fun. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank all of you for, even though our viewership is down, the game has been canceled many, many years now. We have competing Star Wars card games in existence. The fact that we still have people tuning in on occasion and watching these videos and occasionally throwing comments and likes and reaching out to me in the Discords and stuff, I do appreciate that. It does make it feel like this is not just a self-serving enterprise. So, I'm appreciative of those efforts. This is for all of you, although it is definitely for me. I do print and play these, and I love them. So thanks to the community. I've loved my time here, working in the space. This is going to be the end of my consistent content creation for the Dice Commando channel related to Destiny. I understand, I'm probably going to do a goodbye video. Me and Andrew might do something kind of here at some point, but I do understand that this video channel is the last regular content provider for Destiny, and that stopping, is a thing, and it's kind of a sad day, but I want this to be celebratory. This is a way for things to live on, and I'm hoping people will view it in that light. I do understand that, me walking away can be a bummer, but I'll always be available in the Discords. I'll always be ready rolling that chunky dice and getting up to jank. But thanks for all the time. It's been a pure delight. I hope you enjoy more and more years of rolling the dice, smashing some decks together, and playing some Destiny. And as always, go Commando.
Bye.